All right, welcome, welcome, welcome. It is a beautiful day out. As you can see, Allison is walking, trying to stay awake. She told me that she's been at it since the crack of dawn, and it's nice out. It was hot. I was out with the kids. I got my outdoor workout in with the kids, pushing the double stroller with the Joey seat out front, and they're now a combined weight of like almost 80 pounds. So having that in the stroller going through the parks and stuff and having everybody like stare at me. One woman stopped and was like, "Oh, twins." I was like, "No, triplets." And then she carries on and then looks around me. She goes, "Oh, there's another one in there." I was like, "Yeah, I said that." I'm like, "There's three. One, two." Anyways, it happens daily. But it was a good walk. It was not something that I overly wanted to do, but I knew I had to do it because the kids were going crazy. And I was going crazy because I was by myself pretty much the whole day. And my family had family over, and they showed up at basically lunchtime / nap and left before they woke up. So there was very little relief there. But it was a good day nonetheless. Finished it off with an athlete workout, and I joined in, and it was a tempo workout from Ryan, which you guys have all experienced, and they are quite painful. But yeah, I definitely held my own, and I lifted heavier than them, which I should, but they're bigger than me, so I feel pretty good. But again, I didn't want to do it, but I had to do it, not only because I've committed to this challenge and I won't let Allison beat me. But yeah, it was one of those things. And this leads me into why your mind is the most powerful thing, and it can work with you or against you. And we really have to understand that it can go both ways. And it's okay if it goes both ways, but the problem that happens is more times than not, it's much easier to go against you, just because the against pile, or like whatever activities are in the I'm going to do that instead pile, is way fucking easier than the two tasks that you need to get done in the oh my god that needs to get done pile, right? Or it's way easier than the goal that you set. So let's just backtrack the goal a bit. So every time we set this big hoorah goal, it's probably because you guys read something stupid about motivation and got pumped up and then made this massive goal, like, yes, I'm going to do this. And then all of a sudden motivation disappears. And then you look at that goal and try to find ways to cut corners to get to it. And then at the end of the day, we all know you don't reach it because you cut the corners, or you allowed yourself to have more time off, or you allowed yourself to kind of get away with things because you're the only one that's really answering to yourself, right? So it's interesting what the mind can do. And it definitely plays a huge factor in how you speak to yourself or how you speak to the universe. Like, I'm going to call Lisa out a little bit because we had a phenomenal conversation during personal training on Tuesday, where she said, "Oh, I'm running this, half marathon, and this person at work's running it with me, and I haven't really trained, blah, blah, blah." And I said, "You're probably motivating them, or you're probably inspiring them to run it." And she said, "Yes." But then immediately went against herself and was like, I only run in fair weather. Oh, I only do this. I'm like, you mean to tell me this woman signed up, you're going to go all the way to the day, and if it's raining, you're just going to bail on her? That person's running because of you, right? So it was just interesting because she agreed with me and then talked herself out of it in case something else happened. So we put all these different elements in front of it, and it was just her brain saying, you know what, I really don't want to do this. And then I said, that's why you have to do it. When you don't want to do something, it's because the task is actually pretty grand or pretty huge that you just don't want to do it, and there's a much easier way out, and no one cares. Like, literally, if you take the easy way out, no one's going to get mad at you. You're just going to lay down on your pillow and be like, oh, fuck, I took the easy way out. I'm not going to sleep tonight for a little bit. And then all of a sudden you're sound asleep and you don't give a shit. So the problem with that is you have to do the things that you don't want to do. There is no one on the face of this earth that can tell you that your goals will come easy. If you set them, they're not going to come easy, but you have to train your brain to get past these things of motivation to, you know what, like we do post, I see it in the inner circle, I see it on all the other groups that I'm in. I'm like, They're like, oh, you're only one bite away from being healthy. And I've said it before, and it's great and it's awesome and it's wonderful, but it's shit, right? Because it only sits there for that one bite. And then you're back to being one bite away from that pizza. You're back to being one night out. You're back to being binging. Like, there's so many things that just come in and can take your energy away from you if you let it, right? And this leads me to talk about scales and, you know, and different charts and graphs and statistics that you track. And let's just say let's go back to my German volume comp. If I tracked all my weights and I didn't progress, oh my God, my mind's going to fixate on that 1 week that I didn't actually set PRs or didn't increase my weights. But how can my body physically continue to do that over time? Like, if I'm 2 years in working out, how could I consistently be lifting heavier than day one? Well, you can't. There's just no way. Your body gets to a point where you can't train the same to get different results. So then we have to shift our mind. And again, back to the mind, this is the control. You shift it towards something that excites you again. And then your body makes the changes that it needs to allow yourself to get to the second gear because your mind's telling it to do so. And I'll let that sink in for a minute, right? You need to shift gears all the time. If you're pushing, you need to take a second and, you know, take a rest day. Or like someone, I think it was Sophie, she's like, I'll be going 2 weeks straight, not a day off. I'm like, well, what are you doing in between? She goes, well, I'm running a lot of kilometers, and then I'm lifting weights, and I'm running and lifting and lifting and running. And then she runs here while she lifts. And I said, well, where are you at right now? And she's like, I'm tired. But it was her brain telling her, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this. But if you actually take the day off or the 3 days off and then carb loaded and got back up, you're going to be even better than when you left. Because you took that time, you're going to be more powerful, you're going to be able to push through. But the problem happens is when we creep into that, oh my God, I didn't lift a weight, oh my goodness, I'm on the scale, oh this and that. And you're giving your power to different things that are like inanimate objects. It's almost like we go back to that movie Anchorman. This is I Love Lamp. Well, I hate the scale. We're giving our emotions to a piece of equipment that's going to dictate our results. Allison and I had a chat, and it was a crazy chat during, obviously she had a shit week, and everybody's going to have one of those weeks. And her friend passed, all that stuff. And then she had a scan tell her that she was higher body fat than expected. And it was mind-blowing to the fact for both of us just that all of the transformation came down to this number, and this number meant more than everything else that happened. Then I don't know if you've logged it. There's probably a good chance of how many hours you've actually worked out. You probably have that stat. But like, the bod pod was what, 7 to 10 minutes? Nod yes, no? Not even long, like 7 to 10 minutes of time to spit out a number that totally disqualified 2.5 years of work. But we give that power, like she gave that power away. And it took that conversation and the realization to take it back, right? To take that power right back right away and say, okay, you know what? Fuck you, bod pod. I'm going to get back on at the end of 75 days, and I'm going to see if I'm in the zone that the doctor tells me to be worried about. That's exactly where we're at right now, right? Like this, that's what these scales tell us. These scales tell us that we can't be in these zones because these are recommended things. And it's like, who is that person to tell you that that's where you should be or you shouldn't be? If your body is okay to continue to improve itself and deliver the results and get, you know, the goals that you want to accomplish, and you're healthy and you're happy and you're sleeping and you're doing all the good things, and you have a limited amount of stress, but we're all going to have stress. That's the thing. Everybody tries to eliminate it to zero, but then what the fuck would your life be like? If you weren't solving any problems, you'd be bored out of your mind if you didn't have it. So when it comes down to it, and we give our power away, we're nothing. Superman gives his power away and just becomes Clark Kent, and he's nothing, right? He has that rock that takes his power away, but we have that scale. We have that, oh, I didn't make it to 4 boot camps. Oh, I didn't run enough. Oh, I didn't eat healthy enough this week. We give our power away to all these other things, but what are you actually doing for yourself? Nothing. You're doing a disservice to all the efforts that you've ever put in and all the efforts that someone has put in with you to help you. You're doing a disservice to everything around you when you give it away. And then how do you grow if you have no power, if you have no water, if you have no electricity to turn the light on the plants? How do you grow this stuff if you have no source of energy because you've given it away? That's all controlled in your mind. When we talked about last week where, you had to dig deep and do the things you don't want to do and push through, and it's fucking raining all the time. Like today was lucky. We're lucky today for our outdoor workout that it actually was nice. The 75, we're 40 days in. Is it 40 or 41? I think it's 40. And I'm pretty sure 35 of them were -2 and snow and rain and sleet. And, it was just one of those things. And that pounds away at your mind. It pounds away. We've already had people fall out. They signed up 5 days ago and it rained for 4 and they're out. And they're gone. Just like that. And Lisa's a fair weather runner. I said, bullshit. I said, I'm a fair weather golfer and I called myself out. And then on the most beautiful day, I couldn't golf. And that's just what it is. That's just balance, right? It's because you're giving up your power. If you take control of that and you bring it back within, you will crush so many things. I promise you, you'll crush your workouts, you'll crush your relationships, you'll crush your work, you'll crush your income, you'll crush your saving, you'll crush your house, you'll crush your tasks around the house. You'll just continue to go. Like, it's funny, we live this life and we make these decisions and then we get upset when problems come at us. Like, oh man, I got a problem. What am I going to do? We get upset. We talk about them amongst ourselves and we just don't solve the problem. We just get upset that it keeps happening. But guess what? You buy a gym membership. Now you got a fucking problem. You know what your problem is? You got to show up. That's your problem. Then when you show up, you got to figure out what the hell you're going to do out there. That's another problem. And then you got somebody like me yelling at you in front of the class, and then you got to figure out if you like me or not. That's another problem. And then you go from that problem to the next problem to the next problem. So then when you stop coming to the gym for 3 weeks because you bought a 4-week membership, you made it for 1 week, now you got a problem like you failed yourself and you lost all that money, and then you didn't own up to your own goals that you set in the very beginning. And you got to either restart it or just completely be embarrassed and never come back. I can go through the list of people that have started, fallen off, and never come back, and they'll all tell me a message. They're like, wow, I kind of fell off. I don't know, coming back is weird, right? And I'm like, no, it's not weird. It's just normal. But it's a problem that you have to solve, but you can only solve that by being strong in your mind, believing that you can. I think I can conquer a lot, and by saying it like that, takes power away from me, because I said I think. How many times do you catch yourself saying you think you can do something? And then how many times do you just choose not to because you're like, well, I don't really know. Just, I'm just not going to do it. I think I can. Allison, go lift that garbage can above your head and keep the lid closed. Go. You could do it, right? You could. But it's like, why do we do that to ourselves? Why do we talk like that? We should start saying, I want to and I don't want to. That's it. I want to do that. All right, let's go. I want to solve that problem. All right, let's go. All these things are in front of us. They just come. We're going to solve them. Next. That's what life is. Next. Some make you feel good when you accomplish them. Some make you feel like shit when you finish them. Some you're upset at from your performance, and others you're not. That's normal. That's expectations. That should be your expectations of what happens when you go through these tasks, when you go through this life. You should be able to feel those emotions and not just, slough them off and push them away, and like feel them, learn from them, grow from them. You are truly only motivated to do the easiest fucking things in the world. That's it. If you think about that and you look around the things that you actually always do, it does not take you anything to do them because you're motivated to do them because they're easy to do. And then when you see the hard things, you stand there and you kind of look up at it, right? You're like, holy shit, that's pretty tough. It's like that hill that you climb, Lisa, from 9 to 11 kilometers. You're like, holy. Right? You got to think of those things. Plan ahead. Be prepared. Know you can crush it. And if you're checking yourself out the door, or the side door, being like, don't really want to do that, that's when you got to gut check yourself and figure it out and go push past it. right? You got yourself into it, get yourself out, dig deep. You're not going to always be doing things you want to do. You're not, to get successful at anything you want to do, you got to do shit that you don't want to do. I'm listening to a book right now on top of the book I'm reading. And it's challenging me to be mentally stronger. The book's called Relentless. And he talks about 3 categories of people. He talks about the cleaners, the closers, and the coolers. Okay? The coolers, the bottom of the barrel, everybody chills out in the cooler zone, right? The coolers, they just kind of go through the motions. They don't really get things done. They need direction. They're told what to do. They sometimes follow it. They sometimes don't. Those people are the vast majority of people, right? And then you got the closers. Now the closers are cool. These people are awesome. Okay, they're really good to deal with. They get shit done. They're powerful people. But the one thing about the closers is they need to be told. Okay, so they need to take directive. And then the directive comes from the cleaner. The cleaner is considered relentless, according to this book. And I can totally agree with some of the points that the guy is saying. It's an interesting book. He's a professional athlete trainer, but he's talking about the cleaners, and he goes into depth about what a cleaner is. A cleaner truly just makes decisions quietly. They just go about and do it. Something comes to them, they get it done. They don't talk about, woo, that was so fun, guys. Like, look how I got this done, this done, this done, this done, this done, this done. They just get it done and go on to the next, right? But they also don't ask questions about, like, can I do this? Do you think I can do this? And then I reflected a lot back into kind of how I've grown this business, and then integrating different people to help with the business, like Allison and Ryan and such. And I've been caught, not necessarily caught, it's not a bad thing, but I've been asking, well, what do you guys think? Well, what do you think? Well, what do you think? What do you think? And you know what? Out of all those what do you thinks, very little of those things actually got implemented. Because we had 3 people being a cooler on the situation, not really getting shit done. And then the things that were just like straight on, we literally have a thing, what would Corey do? And it means do it, right? Like, without question. It's just like, that's what we got to be thinking. If it sounds like that, it's just one of those decisions that's already made. And that's the feeling that I love. I love when, like, Allison messaged me, said, I did this, it was a good deal, done. I'm like, fuck yeah. It didn't take an army to make a decision to go ahead and do it. So in your life, I want that to be something that you guys consider, is something that you're confident in. Be a cleaner, be the top of it. Just go about your business, get shit done, and you don't worry about it. He references a lot of professional athletes like Dwayne Wade and Michael Jordan and LeBron James and stuff like that. They're like cleaners in the industry, in the business, because they put their head down and they go about their business. They got broken legs, like the guy that I just read about, the book Can't Hurt Me, David Goggins. He's a cleaner. He was told he's going to run an ultra marathon and broken shins and toes, and he just said, okay, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to, like, crush it out of the park. That's the mentality that I'm trying to build for myself, because I think it's phenomenal. I think it's tremendous that what we can accomplish as humans. It's up to us. It truly is up to what you think you can accomplish and what you set your mind to. We live in a world that says, no, you can't do that, right? We live in a world that pulls you back. There's tons and tons and tons of people that pull you back. If you've ever been in a room and you're the most successful person, you try to talk to the people around you about your problems, you want to know what's funny? No one in that room gives a shit about your problem. But if they all are unsuccessful around you and they all share their problems amongst themselves and you're in that room, they will all talk to each other about how they can help each other and, are you okay? Blah, 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 blah. That's a mindset. That's like, we associate ourselves in those groups, and sometimes those groups pull you back. But once you get to a level of success and your mind's ahead of that and this and that, no one actually is feeling bad for you. They're like, oh, you got everything you need. You got everything you need. I'm still climbing, right? So they climb with other people that are still climbing. They don't climb with the ones that are already there. But yet, everybody always tells you that super successful is don't be the smartest in the room. So it's interesting that if those people that were in the room with you and you're super successful, and they may not be, if they would just turn their mindset around and start drawing things from you, right? So if we're in that position and we're not as successful as we want to be, but we're around people Don't have that mindset of, oh, I can't talk to them because they are successful. Oh, they don't have the same problems I have. We're all humans. It's like these athletes or like these famous people don't have the same problems as us. Yes, they do. They just do it with more money. They have the same problems. Like they live in a house, they drive a car, they eat the same food, whatever the supply is, that kind of stuff. They still, you know, they're overweight going into camps, stuff like that. They're like, I need to lose 60 pounds in 4 months to get into this, you know, to make the team, that kind of stuff. It doesn't matter, but it's up to you to decide if that's how you want to live. So this book's really cool. It's challenging me to be more mentally strong. I am still being challenged on this 40-day, like we're 40 days in, and when people don't have a ton of like strength for the simple things, I'm like on it. I'm like, you guys need to push past this shit, right? And I have very little patience, but I'm nice. Like, I'm not rude, I don't think. Maybe somebody thinks I am, but I see a little side nod from Carrie, a little smirk from Lisa. Allison's like, giving a fucking weird face. Anyways, I'm cool with it. That's who I am. I'm not going to change, but I'm going to call people out. Like, you guys have to be honest with yourselves for where you're at. I'm being honest with myself, saying that sometimes shit doesn't get done when I should be doing it. And it's actually a very powerful thing for me to be honest with myself. It feels good. It's like, man, I just called myself out on that, and it's so true. Like, even in the workout today when I was dogging it at the end with the weights, because I'm lifting heavier weights than I probably should, and I'm just like, there's 6 guys behind me lifting, and I probably should keep going because I don't want to let them down, right? I don't want to be a dog. I don't want to be a cooler in the group. So push past it. But that was my mind telling me to quit, stop, go. Quit, stop, go, right? And it was interesting just to go through that, and you experience it in everything you do. It's simple if you start reflecting and seeing it. So I really challenge you guys, push your mind, start reading things that help build mindset. Don't worry about fucking motivation. It doesn't stay. It just doesn't stay. Melanie shared the Mel Robbins podcast. She's the 5-second rule author. I've already had the pleasure of reading that book. But the podcast just reiterates the book, where it's like, okay, you've got 5 seconds to make a decision and go and do it. If you let 5 seconds go, either the thing's not important, basically, or you're just wussing out and taking the easy way out. But there's no motivation. You can't sit there with this great plan and then say, well, I don't really have the motivation I need to get it done. You will literally never have it. It's like, if you want to get in shape, if you want to deadlift 300 pounds, if you want, to run a half marathon under 3 hours, under 2 hours, you've got to just get shit done. You've got to train. You've got to go through the pain. You've got to be like, man, my shins hurt, my feet hurt, my back hurts, my head hurts. All that stuff's going to hurt. Oh man, I didn't eat enough food. I'm going to vomit. All that's going to happen. Just know it's going to happen. If you don't have that expectation going in, you'll never accomplish it. But know that that's coming and you're ready for it, right? You're ready to take it head on, so that doesn't surprise you. That problem doesn't surprise you. But that's mental strength, knowing and being able to put yourself in that position, be like, okay, I know it's coming. Like, you're going to go to war with yourself. Life's going to throw some shit at you. Someone's going to pass away. Something's going to happen. There's so many different things. Like, I got triplets by myself for a whole day. Like, that's wild. I've, like, the whole weekend was wild. But it happens. Right? I'm not calling people up being like, hey, can you come over? Come on and help me. No, I'm just like, it is what it is. Someone stopped by, I'm just like, hey, why don't you stay for a while? But we push past these things, right? Life happens. That's life. We can't count that shit. That is something that we always have to do and go about it, right? The extra stuff to get your goals, build your bank account, buy that new house, get that nice car, whatever you want to do, takes hard work. Lisa, unmute yourself.
I don't know how. Okay, you got me. Yep.
You did your race in under 3 hours.
Yes, my tip time was actually 2:54.
Can you tell everybody what was playing in your head?
You telling me to do it in 2:57? Yes, and I told myself, stop, go, 1,000 times.
What pushed you to 2:54, other than me yelling at you?
I just kept going. I'm in it. I gotta go. The faster I get there, the faster this pain is over. Oh.
Honestly, that's sometimes how I position myself at the workouts that I write, and I end up saying, "Oh my God, I got to do this," and it's like,
Yeah.
"This shall end."
It will. Yeah.
But now, how do you feel?
Well, I feel really good. I mean, I feel good with the time. It wasn't my best time, but for the amount of training that I did going into it, which was almost nothing, I feel good with the time. I'm tired, but I feel really good that it's done, and I accomplished it, and I didn't quit.
That's right. The beautiful thing about this, she had an untrained body, but you've trained your mind. And I think out of all the things that you'll get out of our sessions, I think that's your biggest growth, is that your mind has been trained to be mentally tougher. We had a conversation.
Yeah, I agree.
Back to the fair weather, and I told her if it rains on Wednesday or Thursday, you have to fucking run in it if it's raining when you're supposed to run. If you turn around and go back inside, no, not allowed. Right, Allison? You're not allowed. If it's workout time outdoors and it's raining, you open the garage door at the gym and you watch everyone inside do their workout while you're outside doing lunges and jumping jacks and squats and front squats with dumbbells getting poured on. That's what you do. Upgrade to pro. No thanks. Guys, honestly, it's a cool concept to start building your mind to be mentally tougher. I think that's where we should focus on. Stop doing all this motivation stuff, seeking motivation, trying to find people to motivate you. Do all of that because that's cool. It builds relationships. It builds friendships. But truly, this journey is your own. There's 9 windows here in front of me with 9 different people all searching for 9 different things. You got to fight it on your own. Like, this is mentally a challenge for you to dig deeper. Get stronger, get better, faster. Like, that guy's going fast. Like, just ran by Allison. He's going fast. Get that fast, right? Like, push past things. If it's something you don't want to do and you say that to yourself, that's your gut check being like, oh, fuck, I got to get up. Got to get up. Just get up. Get up, start moving. Go, 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 go. Oh, my alarm's about to go off. Don't wait for it to go off. If you wake up before it, get out of bed and get going. Make your bed, though. All those good things happen after you do the things you don't want to do. That's it. Anybody have some parting words? Sam.
Hi.
Are you ready to do a bunch of shit you don't want to do?
Like what?
That's yours to choose. We're almost at 30 minutes about doing stuff that you don't want to do. It's yours. Yours alone.
Yeah.
Figure that
I'm
shit.
ready.
You got some stuff that's cool coming up, so it's going to work. Get your head right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Positive thinking.
Right. All right, guys. That's it from me. I appreciate you all.
Thanks, Corey.
I'm feeling pumped up. I should work out before most of these calls. What do you think? Yeah, that's a no.
We all should.
There we go. What do you think? Sunday night boot camp. I can't teach it. But anyways, home workouts online. We'll broadcast our athlete program 7 to 8 o'clock. You guys can join in. You need a set of dumbbells and you have to tempo yourself. I'll post the workout. Good night.
Good night.